Alright everyone, welcome back to Kult of Athena Blade Reviews. We have the Deepeeka Half Spadona Sword. This is a hand-and-a-half sword, as obviously said. Take a look at some specs on this one, some up-close looks in the scabbard, out of the scabbard, and then we'll do some cut testing. Let's get to it. Alright, overall length of this blade, 46 and 5/8 inches. We've got a 34-inch blade all the way from the very wide upswept handguard all the way to the very tapered skinny tip. This is a sword that would have been used when obviously armor was around, so having this very narrow tip is very good for getting into visors, getting around through the neck, maybe even piercing chainmail. It being a hand-and-a-half sword, you would also be able to do half swording techniques with this as well, where you're grabbing the blade. I would wear gauntlets for that personally. I know you can do it without, but me personally, I want to keep my fingers. This blade is a little bit over 3 pounds, 3.2 pounds. Steel quality, EN45 high carbon steel. This is a steel quality that Deepeeka uses on a lot of their blades. Dragon King also uses a lot of EN45 high carbon steel as well. So pretty good steel. This one has been sharpened by Mark, our sharpening guy. So thank you, Mark, for sharpening this blade. Most of the time Deepeeka swords, almost all the time Deepeeka swords do not come sharpened at all. Looking at the handguard, this is a very thick handguard. If you look at this, if I go straight on the camera here, it's actually a very thick handguard. There's a lot of material on it. It's not overbearing to the point where you feel like it's like heavier than it needs to be, but it's just something to mention as far as that goes. It's a hand-and-a-half sword. If I have two hands on a full grip with my forefinger and my pinky touching, that pretty much is the whole handle. I would say I have, like, if you're looking at glove size, I have like a medium-sized hand. So not like super big hands. I don't have like small hands either. So just right in the middle. We have a peen pommel. So the peen on the pommel, as you can see, pretty sweet pommel as far as the design goes. The handle bumps out on the sides, so that way if you want, you can have that full grip, and it kind of goes into like almost like a pear shape on the sides, so that way it's a solid grip, so you can go one hand. You could go over if you wanted. I don't really know why you would, but go here, hands over like this, or even if you want to choke down to the pommel as well. Depends on really how you like to handle this blade. Depends on the grip. Scabbard on this one is a wood cord leather wrap scabbard. If you look inside of it, you'll see that there's flaps for a rain guard, similar to how Dark Sword would have it. It's not nearly as secure, I would say. This is also a price point item, but enough to where if you're to slide it in and it goes all the way up to the guard, which is a pretty cool feature, because then you have to worry about like right along like the very top of the handguard where the sword edges start. You don't have to worry about getting a whole lot of rain in there. I wouldn't leave this outside, of course, but it's a nice aesthetic feature as well, and it just makes for it to be a secure fit. Alright, so what we'll do now is do some up-close looks in the scabbard and out of the scabbard, and then we'll do some cut testing. Let's get to it. Alright, so up-close looks of this blade in the scabbard. We're going to see the pommel up close here. We're just using the tatami mat and the stand in order to get this to work. So there's the handguard. We have a pan all the way down the leather scabbard. I'll actually bring this up. And if we flip it around, you'll see the stitching on the back as well. So some wrapped on the top. That's where I was talking about how it sits almost like flush. Runs down, tapers with the blade, of course. Can you pull this? Just trying to not put the camera down.
Yeah.
Just toss it in the grass, please. Thanks.
Are they cutting better this time?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Alright, so then we'll see out of the scabbard. There's the guard. We've got the fuller going down a little bit more than halfway with the fuller. So if I flip this around so you can see it in the grass. And again, it being a hand and a half, we're looking at this out in front. There's one hand grip, enough for a bottom hand as well. So now we'll do some cut testing with this blade and see how it does. You have it for this blade review, the Deepeeka hand and a half Spadona sword. This one has had a sharpening surface added, did some specs on it, up close looks in and out of the scabbard, and then we did some cut testing. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, let me know what you want to see in the coming future for reviews, and I'll talk to you soon.